Brett, there's a reason why Blaylock is such a great stealer of the ball. First of all, watch his eyes, how they're going to center on this ball. Then watch his great foot movement. And then the last thing is going to be the great arm movement to go for the steal. He's one of the best you'll ever see in college basketball. There's the foot movement. Now he goes in there with the steal with the hands. Perfect balance. Has over 200 this year. First time in the history of collegiate basketball that a backcourt combination both had over 200.
Oklahoma looking for its first national basketball championship. First school in history to play for both the football and the basketball championship the same year. And they were beaten by Miami in the Orange Bowl in football. Now they lead Kansas 63-60 with 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go here for the basketball title. And they forced still another turnover. That was Dave Seeger, who's having a great night shooting. 7 of 10 from three-point range. He was 12 of 33 for the tournament, only 36% until tonight. And Seeger guns another one. Misfires that one. Grant gets it back, and Seeger will try it again. Misfires too quickly in a row, and he thought about it. But Gellner was right on top of it.
He may take another one if Pritchett doesn't get out on him. There's that push-off by King. That was a foul.
King getting away with it, and Oklahoma builds a 5-point lead. 65-60 Sooners.
Larry Brown wisely gets Pritchett back in the game because he realized Blaylock was starting to take over.
Kansas needs a field goal, and Piper gives it to him. It's back to 3.
I wonder why Billy Tubbs is allowing Grant to play that far off Piper. He's giving him the wide open shot and making him available to be the open man and whenever anybody gets in trouble with the ball.
Manning coming out on Grant. They ship the Blaylock off the fake. With that great quickness, he penetrates. Short. No Kansas player there. It was Grace. Left alone
King
quickly.
is in the lane.
And he just stayed in the lane. They turned it over.
Now, King is a little annoyed with Grace, and rightfully should be. Grace either should have taken the shot or fired it down into that low post.
And Harris comes in. They were expecting him to shoot. That's why he was camped in the lane, so he could turn and attempt to rebound if it was missed. 65-62. Oklahoma leading by 3 here at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. This is the 10th national championship game played in this city. Kansas has tried for a title 3 times here and lost all 3. Their only championship was won up in Seattle. Manning off a fake with a great play. He can tie it with a free throw.
We've been comparing this young man with Larry Bird, Brent, all the way through the tournament. And you really have to start saying that on at least the collegiate level, is an honest comparison because he has done it all. Watch the pump fake off the jump shot. You've got to play him. Has a little pro walk he got by with there. Then he goes underneath King to get off that beautiful soft shot he had. He does not have Bird's range on the jumper, but he can do a lot of the other things very similar.
20 points here tonight, Billy, and 12 rebounds. Make it 21 and tied at 65. Kansas was down by 5, and now they've battled back to tie it. Inside of 11-10. And now the Kansas defense flying after Oklahoma. Blaylock hits a 3, and he responds to it.
Blaylock's having a sensational game himself. Not only on defense, but hitting those key shots. Normore's got his hands full with the ball.
Remember Freddie Banks of UNLV last year in the semifinal, lost to Indiana. Shades of that three-point shooting here.
Here's what I'm talking about. If you're not going to play Piper, see, it makes no sense for all the other guys to be working hard on defense because Piper will always be open for the outlet pass. Now Grant's coming out and playing a little tighter.
They ship Manning jump hook. He released a little quickly that time, and the ball is out of bounds. Boy, Grant quickly wanted to take that ball. Newton over, receiving some tape on his right ankle on the Kansas bench. 10:20 to go. Oklahoma up by 3, and it goes over to Kansas. Tubbs unhappy. 15 turnovers by Oklahoma in this game. Gellner sits down. On the floor, Harris, Normore, and Pritchard, along with Piper and Manning. And Oklahoma's pressure defense was much more evident in the first half than it has been here in the second. And they lead it by 3 points, 68-65, closing in on the 10-minute mark of regulation.
Grant has got to go out and play Piper. This allows Kansas to get the tempo right where they want it.
Standing there as the shot clock comes on now.
Now Grant's planning out there.
Inside to Manning, unstoppable there.
And now Billy Nubbs would say, that's why I have him back in there. I'm trying to double team Manning. So Manning's causing a lot of problems even without the ball.
OU leading 68-67. Grace.
He altered the shot. Good defense.
Manning rebounds. Kansas with a chance to go ahead this trip. Oklahoma unable to shake the Jayhawks so far.
And now they've got to go out and play him because this is the game, the tempo that Larry Brown will be very satisfied with. He's done a masterful job controlling tempo. The first half, he pushed it up the floor, and now he's taking it back out.
Oklahoma's hit only one field goal the last 3 minutes. 4 of their starters have played the entire game. Manning throws in a jump hook for the lead. 69-68, 8:45.
And you know Oklahoma has not pumped the ball inside of late. They're going strictly with a jump shot.
Grant missing Kansas ball. Muscling out now is Piper. Here's Pritchard.
They've got 5 on 4. Seeger went down trying to draw the elbow foul. Now Oklahoma has changed defensive assignments. Grant is on Manning. They're playing the open offense, looking for those backdoor cuts.
And away from the ball, it's on Ricky Grace. That's number 4.
Pritchett did exactly the right thing. Grace on a big overplay. Pritchett took him backdoor. Grace knew he was beaten, tried to grab a hold of him.
Gildner into the game for Kansas.
But the other thing that this tempo was doing, it's allowing Danny Manning not to pick up foul trouble, allowing them to stay fresh. So Larry Brown is not being worn down here in the second half as he would have if they kept up the pace of the first half.
He wanted to slow it down in the second half, and Oklahoma is making it easier for him. As Grace leaves with Mullins in for the second time. He's been the only sub used by Coach Tubbs in this game. He was in for 3 minutes in the first half replacing Grace. Now he comes back in. Meanwhile, Larry Brown has shoveled players in and out. Manning with 3 personnel.
And they go to a half-court 1-3-1 trap, which is not effective at all the way Kansas moves that ball.
Harris loses it. Kansas ball. Oklahoma touched it last.
Harris is making Larry Brown nervous. He's got to come back, and he does with Piper.
One of the finest coaches in a college game, Larry Brown, masterfully maneuvering this team. This is a team with 11 losses. If they win this game tonight, that's more losses than any national champion has ever suffered in 1 year. Yet he has won 14 of his last 17. They have avenged 2 of those losses, Kansas State and Duke. The next to fall would be Oklahoma if they keep it up. Piper, 71-68, 7:20.
Brent, the 1-3-1 half-court defense that Oklahoma has is really helping Kansas now. Allows them to play their tempo, and they just move the ball so well against it.
King muscling free. Stays with it. Kansas coming out now. They lose it back to Grant. Seeger for the layup, drew the foul.
Tough break for Piper. He was caught a little bit out of position because he anticipated his team was going to have the ball. And Seeger, who's having a great night for Oklahoma, took advantage of it.
That is 16 fouls on Kansas. The 2 players they can ill afford to lose are Piper and Manning, each with 3 personals. Newton, after receiving tape on that right ankle, will check back into the game. Minor now will replace Normal.
Brent, you can see on the scoreboard, Oklahoma has only scored 18 points in the second half, and we're under the 7-minute mark. When they don't score, they can't press because they never get you in a situation where you're taking the ball out of bounds. So it's hurt them both ways.
Larry Brown so far tonight has made 33 substitutions. Billy Tubbs has made 3.
A little apprehension on the look of that bench over there at Oklahoma.
Trailing by 2. Seeger's three-point shooting has truly kept this team in it. Now at the free throw line, he misses his second, and Piper rebound. So it's a 2-point game, 71-69, Kansas over Oklahoma. Manning, a sensational ball handler for someone who is 6'10". He could have gone to the NBA last year, but he passed it up. His mother, a school teacher in Lawrence, convinced him to stay and work toward that degree, which he did. And it certainly has not hurt his bargaining power as an upcoming NBA professional.
Not exactly a 4 corners, just an open offense with a lot of backdoor cuts. Larry Brown, of course, was an assistant under Dean Smith.
Played for him for 1 year, also played for Frank McGuire. Traveled. A late call by Higgins, but a good one. Pritchard traveled. That is turnover number 21 by the Jayhawks. This one does not hurt that much, however. It was down at their end. It's the turnovers up here when you're trying to bring it down against the Oklahoma pressure, which was much more prevalent in the first half, that'll truly kill you against the Sooners.
Pritchard was fighting the shot clock on that last one.
Blaylock dumps Grant. It falls. Harvey Grant ties it at 71. 5:50 to go.
Third-team All-American, first-team All-Big 8, junior college transfer. Grant coming through for him in the clutch. They have not been going inside.
Piper passed it up. Pritchard comes down the baseline and throws in a field goal to put the Jayhawks up again, 73-71.
Brent, I think Kansas is pretty fresh because of the tempo of this game in the second half. They look much fresher than they were in the first half.
A brilliant game plan unfolding perfectly so far.
Well, Oklahoma's allowing Larry Brown to use some clock here. They haven't been out pressuring tough man-to-man like they did in the first half. Is it possible that Oklahoma's getting a little tired?
Jumping out was Blaylock, and he fouled him. That's number 3.
He got the arm. Brent, we've talked about the great conditioning of Oklahoma. This is the first time I've seen them looking up at the clock and checking that time out a little bit. They worked on aerobics, and they are heavily devoted to aerobics. A young lady has a place called Second Wind, which I think is really an interesting name, and that's what Oklahoma has had this entire year.
In a game like this, it can be as much mental pressure as physical.
Well, and particularly when you're holding the ball like this, you really start feeling it as a defender.
Blaylock hounding Pritchard. Get it into Harris's hands.
Manning on the bench now. Have to be very careful here.
Kansas up by the 2. Minor doesn't get the bounce, and King down with the rebound. Oklahoma could go ahead with a 3 or tie it here with a deuce. Seeger's 3. Yeah. The battle of the glass that time goes out of bounds. Grant tried to keep it in play. We're going to have a TV timeout. And the Oklahoma athletes will welcome it at the 4:26 mark,